Good morning, everyone. Cindy from Beyond the House. Thought we'd just give you a little update on what came in this morning. So it's a little bit of a parking lot tour because we're just in the process of bringing everything in. These are just fresh off a truck. We decided to bring in some, I know it's a strange time to bring in some annuals, but people's planters at home are getting a little depleted sometimes. Sometimes things don't work out, you have a hole, and it's impossible to find annuals at this time of year. Or very difficult anyhow. So we brought in some these beautiful Sunfinity sunflowers. So these guys, nice and tall, beautiful show. They're going to keep blooming all the way into the fall. So we bought a few of those in, and then we also brought the this guy's called Cappuccino. It's a Rudbeckia, and so basically you have your black-eyed Susans that you know that are common and that grow in perennial here. This one is still a perennial. They self-sow like crazy, but they're great in planters because they really bloom well all through the year. So if you wanted to update your summer container now, I think in my mind the best bet, and I forgot to bring them over, were the perennial mums. Start throwing in some perennials in your planters, because what you can do is you can swap out anything that's not looking prime, pop in a couple of perennials in there, and then come September, pop them in your garden. So you're getting double bang for your buck. And if you really wanted to reuse them in your planters next year, you dig them out. I would just sink the whole pot in the planter. Make sure you water it separately when you water your planter, and pop that into, you can heel it in your vegetable garden, and then take it back out in the springtime and plant it then if it's too late. You can plant it in your own gardens, or you can plant it back into another planter. So great ideas for additions to your planters. Heucheras, I love these guys. So these actually, this one is called Grand Amethyst. There's Grand Amethyst, and we have Grande Black as well. In the garden, they're going to get about 2 feet wide, so it's a really big Heuchera. I planted 3 at my place. I don't know if you watched the video, but I had shown you guys that I had planted some in my garden, and they're full blazing sun. No scorch on them. They're beautiful. I'm really impressed with them so far. So, but in a planter, this fills up a big space, and you get a big pow right off the bat. And it carries into the fall colors, but it also works well with summer colors. Throwing in some sedum. We just got Dream Dazzler in, which is a really nice dwarf kind of ground cover sedum. And Wildfire is super pretty as well. We have a great selection of ground cover sedums at the moment. So adding these on the side of a planter, it's a different texture, it's a different feel. And they're gonna pop out and bloom in a few weeks as well with a hot pink bloom, which I think looks great. We have some annual grasses. We always bring in a bunch of annual grasses at this time of year just so that we have them come fall container season. And then, but it's nice to fill in some spaces that are not ideal right now in your pots. And the tall sedums. This one is Carl. It has a really beautiful, vibrant pink flower. But it's that texture in the foliage that is a lot of fun. So it's not done yet. The year isn't over. We've had ideal weather for planting this year. Couldn't have asked for better because there's moisture in the soil now. We went through that drought this spring, but now it seems to be like things are getting good and wet again. So there's no reason to stop gardening. We have the cool evenings. Just make sure that if you do plant at this time of year, don't let the plants dry out. But keep in mind that when it rains, you don't need to water as heavily. So you don't want to, overwater them either. So as you can see, we are fully loaded again. Great new selections came in. We have Simicifuga, we have anemone, we have more perennial grasses, we have asclepias, sedums, dianthus, Russian sage. Beautiful tall phlox came in. We have Red Riding Hood. Jenna is a new one we're carrying. Echinaceas abound. We have Crocosmia. Francina's over there. She's watering the Crocosmia. So we're just in the process of moving everything into the garden center. But if you come out for a visit, we have lots of selections still, and it just keeps growing. We keep getting shipments in at least once or twice a week, so the season's not over yet. It's still time to garden. Have a great day, everyone.